HTML computer code elements. HTML contains several elements for defining user input and computer code. And here we have an example. We have the code element, and inside of the code element we have the variables x is assigned to the number 5 semicolon, y is assigned to the number 6 semicolon, and c is assigned to the variables x plus y, and then we end the code tag. So we're gonna click here and try it ourselves, and we're gonna check out this example, and we're gonna open Visual Studio Code, and we're gonna create a HTML file. So we're gonna go here in new file, we're gonna name it index.html, and we're gonna press shift exclamation mark to create a template, and we're gonna save it. And inside of the body here we're gonna type in, what do we have here? We have we have a heading 2, computer 2. So we have a heading 2 that is gonna say computer, okay, computer code, and now we're gonna have a paragraph below. The paragraph is gonna say some programming code, so we're gonna have a paragraph. Okay, some programming code. Okay, so that is a heading 2 in just a paragraph. So after that we're gonna use the code element. So we're gonna go after the paragraph, and we're gonna use the code element, and inside of the code element we're gonna have the variable x that is going to be assigned to the number 5 semicolon, the variable y is going to be assigned to 6 semicolon, and the variable c is going to be assigned to the variables x plus the variable y. So that is how it should look like. So now we're going to open it with Alt plus L plus O, or you can just go to your HTML file. Here you just click on index.html, and then right click and open with live server. So that is that, and we go here, and this is our code. So we have computer code, some programming code. We have the variable x is assigned 5, y is assigned 6, and c is assigned the variables x plus y. So it's a very simple example. Now we're gonna see the HTML KBD for keyboard input. The HTML KBD element is used to define keyboard input. The content inside is displayed in the browser's default monospace font. So here in this example, we have defined some text as keyboard input in a document. So we have a paragraph. Inside of the paragraph we're gonna have this context that it says save the document by pressing, and then we're going to use the KBD element. So we use angle brackets. Inside of the angle brackets we're going to type in KBD. Outside of that we're going to have control plus capital S, and then we're going to end the KBD tag with angle brackets / KBD, and finally we're going to end the paragraph tag with angle brackets / P. And the result is just gonna be save the document by pressing Ctrl plus S. So we're gonna click here, try it yourself, and this time we're just gonna copy it and just go to Visual Studio Code. We're gonna just paste it here. We're gonna paste it, we're gonna save it, and we're gonna go to our website. This is how it looks like. As you can see, we have the KBD element. The KBD element is used to define the keyboard input. Save the document by pressing Ctrl plus S, and as you can see it has a different font. So that is because we're using the KBD element. So if you mouse over it you can read it. The KBD element represents user input, typically keyboard input, although it may also be used to represent other inputs such as voice commands. So that is that. And now we're gonna see the HTML XAMPP for programming output. The HTML XAMPP element is used to define sample output from a computer program. The content inside is displayed in the browser's default monospace font. And here we have an example. Define some text as sample output from a computer program in a document. So we have a simple paragraph, and inside we're gonna have this message from my computer, and then colon. Outside of that, we're gonna have another paragraph, but now we're gonna use the SEMP element, and inside of the SEMP element we're gonna have file not found dot. Then we're gonna use the VAR, this is a line break, and then we're gonna have press F1 to continue, and then we're gonna end the SEMP tag, and finally we're gonna end the paragraph tag. So the result is gonna be this one: message from my computer, file not found, press 1 to continue. So in this specific font, and we're gonna click and try it yourself. So we're gonna click right here to check out this example, and this is how it should look like. So we're just gonna grab it, go to Control Studio, Visual Studio Code, we're gonna paste it, save it, and we're gonna open it, and this is how it looks like. We have the SEMP element, and this is the font that we're using, file not found. File not found, as you can see, is inside of the SEMP element, and you can read it. The SEMP element represents sample or quoted output from another program or computer system. And then you have a VAR. The VAR element represents a line break. So that is that for that example. Now we're gonna move to HTML code for computer code. The HTML code element is used to define a piece of computer code. The content inside is displayed in the browser's default monospace font. And here we have an example. We have the code element, and inside of that we're gonna have the variable x assigned to 5, the variable y assigned to 6, and the variable z assigned to the variables x plus y. And then we end the code element, or we end the code tag here with open angle brackets / code, and the result is gonna be x is 5, y is 6, z is x plus y, as we saw in the previous example. Now notice that the code element does not preserve extra wide and line breaks. To fix this, you can put the code element inside of a pre element or pre element. So here in this example we have the pre element, and inside of the pre element we have the code element, and inside of the code element we have the variables. So we end the code tag, and then we end the pre tag, and this is gonna be the result. So we're gonna try out this example. We're gonna click here, we're gonna grab this example, we're gonna go to Visual Studio Code, we're gonna go to our index.html file, or whatever name you name your HTML file. We're gonna save it. We're gonna press I'm gonna press Alt plus L plus O so I can open it, and as you can see, the code element does not preserve white space and line breaks. To fix this, you can put the code element inside of a pre element. As you can see in the previous example, the x was equal to 5 was horizontal, it was next to each other. Now is to the next line, we have x is equal to 5 semicolon, next line y is equal to 6 semicolon, next line c is equal to the variables x plus y. So that's how we're using the pre element, and you can read here, the pre element represents a block of pre-formatted text in which structure is represented by typographic conventions rather than by elements. So that is that. Now we're gonna move to the HTML var for variables. So we have the HTML var element is used to define a variable in programming or in a mathematical expression. The content inside is typically displayed in italic. So here we have the example. We have defined some text as variables in a document. So we have this paragraph, we have the context here. The area of a triangle is colon 1/2 multiply, and now we're gonna use the var element. B, we end the var tag, again multiply, or just the x. Again we're gonna have we're gonna start a var tag, we're gonna have age, we're gonna end the var tag, then we're gonna have a comma, where, again a var tag, we're gonna have b, we're gonna end the var tag, is the base, comma, n we start a var tag, age we end a var tag, and then is the vertical height, and finally we end the paragraph tag, and we do that with the angle brackets /p. So the result is going to be the area of a triangle is column 1/2 xb xh, where b is the base and h is the vertical height, and x is assumed that is multiplication. It's being 1/2 is being multiplied by the base, and then it's being multiplied by the vertical height. So we're gonna check out this example, and we're gonna close this one. So yeah, I mean, it's very simple. So you can just go here to Visual Studio Code, paste it, and we just have the h2, then we have the paragraph, and inside of the paragraph we're gonna have a bunch of var element tags. So now we're gonna open, and as you can see, the area of the triangle is 1/2 multiplied by the base multiplied by the height, and you can see that the base and the height are in italic. And why they are in italic? Because the v as the base is inside of the var tag, also the h as the height is inside of the var tag. Again, here the b as the base is inside of the var tag, and the h is inside of the var tag, so it's gonna be in italic. So that is the reason that is looking that way. And finally we have the chapter summary. We have the KBD element defines keyboard input. The SAMP element defines sample output from a computer program. The code element defines a piece of computer code. The var element defines a variable in programming or in a mathematical expression. And the pre element defines a pre-formatted text. So finally we have the HTML computer code elements, and we have the tag and the description. The code tag is gonna define programming code. The KBD tag defines keyboard input. The SAMP tag defines computer output. The var tag defines a variable, and the pre tag defines a pre-formatted text.